Downtown Fargo, where culture, creativity, and community collide. You've heard the headlines. Now hear what's really happening. Bringing the best of Broadway direct to you. The stories, the people, and the places that make downtown the heartbeat of our city. This is Rocky's Downtown Hour with Rocky Schneider.
Happy Friday, everybody. Welcome back. This is Rocky's Downtown Hour. I am Rocky Schneider. Every Friday at 11, we talk about downtown, and one thing we don't often talk about with downtown enough is to talk about the parks and recreation opportunities in downtown. We think of downtown for events and buildings and shops, go out places to dine, but one of my favorite stats is, did you know the busiest outdoor path in the state of North Dakota? So the busiest outdoor path in the state of North Dakota is the sidewalk on Broadway. There's more people that go outside and recreate on the sidewalk on Broadway than in any other exercise path, outdoor path, walking trail. And so it's how people recreate in an urban area. But not just that, we have multiple parks in downtown. There's big parks, little parks, Broadway Square with lots of events, but we're also, right adjacent to Island Park, which is one of the biggest parks in the city, and it's amazing. And the Island Park pool, we saw the popularity with that this summer. It's the busiest pool in the city. But another thing that we don't get to highlight enough is the beautiful river trails that run right through downtown Fargo. I think, I've mentioned it before, but we kind of grew up to be afraid of the river. But if you've been on the river trails, you know what a gem they are. And there's some exciting updates happening along those trails. I get asked, I think one of the first questions I was asked in my job downtown was by just somebody random staying at the Jasper Hotel saying, hey, where can I go for a run around here? And it made me realize that, these trails are amazing, but we don't got anything that points to these trails. And you get to the trails and the trailheads aren't kind of non-existent too. And so working with the park district, I know they just went through a master plan and it was part of that process. And we're working on a new signage downtown as well. I can't wait till we have signs pointing to where the parks are, pointing to where parking is, all these amenities. But then if the parks, we can work with them to kind of, you get on the trailhead by the Sandbag Monument there by City Hall, and you have a map and it shows how far it is to Lindenwood or to Trefoil or to all these other parks so that people know when they go down there, there's lots of stuff to see and places to go, and vice versa. People in those core neighborhoods or coming all the way from South Fargo can ride their bike all the way to downtown and, then come to stores and restaurants and swimming pool and all those sorts of things. And we're really excited about it. So on the show today, we have a couple things highlighting those trail systems and incorporating it into our downtown. So we have James Botnan going to be on with us. He's the one putting on the mini marathon this weekend. And so we all know the Fargo Marathon. The mini marathon took a couple of years hiatus, and it's back. I think it's today and tomorrow. And so he's getting ready for it. And it leaves from the Civic Center using all those trail systems. We're also going to have Sally from Beyond Running. Sally Loeffler from Beyond Running has been downtown. I should ask her, but I think it's, a couple decades now. A beautiful store with everything from shoes to clothes to nutrient, supplements to a lot of touristy things too, and dog stuff. So anything you're doing outside, they have it stocked for you on Broadway there. And then we're also going to meet up with something I'm really excited about, a guy named Patrick Crary, who's building a trail that Greg Tavine helped spearhead with the park district that will add a mountain bike trail, sort of a level 1 mountain bike trail that goes from downtown Fargo right at Dyke East to, almost to Lindenwood. And this is an idea that Greg had. He had a great story in the paper on it and has really pushed it and just shows what you can do if you're a citizen and you want to get active. He went out and fundraised, got approvals, and now there's going to be this trail that his family has helped put in. He rides these trails every day with his family, and he said, hey, it'd be cool if there was a little mountain bike trail. We've seen this in other places. Breckenridge has a beautiful trail system. Bentonville has beautiful trail systems, and it doesn't take a whole lot. I guess I shouldn't say that. Patrick will tell us exactly how much it takes to build these, but when you look at them, you have the paved trails. That's always going to be necessary, but you could do a little single track trail right along with it. Your kids, as they grow up, they get a little more daring. They want to off-road. But I think as a parent, you're like, well, don't ride on the grass. You're going to ruin it. But this is purposeful. So we'll have a little trail there that will connect and allow people to start that adventurous streak in kids, right? Get them out into nature, do these little single track trails. And you never know what that's going to grow into. Either they'll just boost their confidence. They'll use some other trail systems by the parks or by FM trail builders and get more athletic, enjoy the outdoors, explore, all these things. But it's a great confidence booster for kids to have these options, and we have amazing river trails and areas along the river. We got plenty of room to do things like this. So bravo to Greg and bravo to Pat, who will be on with us to talk about what the progress is on that, how you can get involved when it opens up. So we'll have that later in the show, but I just want people to realize that downtown is more than buildings. We got parks, Broadway Square, where we administer that during the summer, and we have 40 some events, and every day you can walk by and see people activated as a park. It's the coolest park, I think, because it's I'll call it the easily accessible park. You can walk right up to it. You can spend a minute there hanging out. You can sit in the sun. You can listen to music all day. You can play with the blue blocks, splash pad, all in our tiny little park. And it's a very diverse park. Lots of people having, business meetings versus just having fun, just hanging out. Elderly people coming just to sit in the sun and watch the passerbyers and just enjoy themselves. There's also down by the bike store, the Great Northern Bike Store. There's another park there, and there's food trucks there. Great ribs if you're into ribs. The rib food truck there is really good. So yeah, just a lot of fun. There's also the Triangle Park in downtown Fargo. I don't know if you know the Triangle Park, but it's right outside Renaissance Hall. I think it might be the smallest park in town. There's a bench there, some bushes. But yeah, it's right at the Triangle Park there where A Street turns into NP Avenue. And just while we're on that subject, the city of Fargo is working on reconstruction of First Avenue from University down to 3rd Street. So basically right down to City Hall. You've seen the NP Avenue open up this year. The next one on the docket is First Avenue. This is a multi-year project. And so they're asking people, what do they want to see? What do they want to see for bike lanes? What type of parking? Stoplights, stop signs, all these things, right? How to make this pedestrian friendly. But why this also matters is you may have seen letter to the guest column last weekend I had in the Forum talking about the convention center, and everybody talks about the proximity to downtown and their proposals. And so I said, well, if everyone's talking about downtown being a valuable place to be near, why not just put it downtown? And there's an option that go right next to City Hall there. There's an empty parking lot that provides no tax value to anybody. This would be a great thing right on top of existing infrastructure to put it in. And I think there was an article in the paper talking about, well, there's a lot of technical challenges with infill projects, and that's not unheard of, but it's also the best bang for your money, because once you figure out those technical challenges, you just put tax base on top of existing land. It's different than growing outward, where it might be easier on the front end, but then you got to pay for the infrastructure to get out there, and it doesn't provide the same boost to the tax base that lowers everyone else's taxes like a downtown project would. But there are some challenges along First Avenue, but to me, it looks like perfect timing, because Fargo's asking people, what do you want to see on First Avenue? We're tearing it up right now. Seems like the perfect time to do big developments along First Avenue, because you can incorporate those changes into the development. So it's well-timed, well-suited, but I encourage everybody to get out there. I think there's an open house on the 28th of this month. You can see it on Facebook. I'm sure the open house will be live on YouTube, too. The City of Fargo has a great YouTube station. And we are also on YouTube. In case you missed any of our shows, you can go back and watch any of the past ones. We're on YouTube at / Fargo Downtown, or I know WDAY has it on theirs as well. And so you can check that out, subscribe, check out our old shows. They're never out of date. We're always relevant. There's always cool guests talking about what they're up to. And it's a fun way to look back and see what's going on and what might go on next year if you're planning the thing. But today we're talking about getting outdoors. And this weekend's one of the big ones. We got runners, walkers, families hitting the trails. You can be part of the Fargo Mini Marathon. If you're interested, they might be full. I don't know. I know they have like a record-breaking turnout, but they will be going on tomorrow from the Civic Center. Go out, cheer people on, take your family out. It's a good reason to just get out yourself and see other people doing stuff and cheer them on, and then go for a walk yourself and stop at Beyond Running on the way back and pick up your supplies, get ready for winter and winter recreating. But up next, we're going to have James Botnan calling in from downtown. So he's going to call in right from there, getting ready for the event tomorrow, and we're going to hear all about it and how to participate. Welcome back to Rocky's Downtown Hour. We're talking about recreation in downtown Fargo and a cool event going on this weekend. It's called the Fargo Mini Marathon. We know about the marathon, and Fargo Mini Marathon is back after a couple years. We have James Botnan with Run Day Events, who's putting on the event himself. He will, is he on the show? Is he online? James, you there?
I'm here.
All right. Why don't you give
Hey,
us
Rocky, how are you today?
doing great. Thanks for joining us. Tell us, you're down there right now putting on this event. What's the details of the event?
Yeah, thanks for having me on today. I'm still at the Civic Center right now, but we're setting up, finishing some final touches here before we go out on the course and start marking for tonight's 5K and then tomorrow's 10K and half marathon. So we're excited to bring this back after a 5-year hiatus.
How many people are signed up for this?
The goal was 700. The extension or the BHAG was 800, but we hit 900. So
Oh, wow.
very blessed, but also some growing pains and some learning lessons as we continue to bring this event back for many years to come.
Yeah, those are the best type of lessons, though, right? When you get pushed to your constraints, that's when you find out what you're made of, right?
Exactly. Well, and then you can make it bigger and better for future years too.
And so, do you have events today and tomorrow?
We do, yeah. So tonight we're partnering with Legacy Pacers. They've had the Trick or Trot 5K the last couple years, and so we're doing that this year in combination with the mini marathon. So that's a Halloween fun themed night with awards for best costumes. So anyone who's registered for tonight, come on out, enjoy the trails, and dress up in your best costumes.
So, if somebody wants to come and view this, what's the best way as a spectator?
Yeah, spectators, if you want to be out on course, that's great. Yamka Center, we're going to use those bike trails, Oak Grove Park trails, so both Fargo and Moorhead side of the river. Otherwise, if you want to stay nice and cool or warm, it looks like a nice night, but at the Civic Center, it's open to the public, so come out and enjoy a fun night with friends and family.
So you mentioned it's been a hiatus of a few years. What's the genesis to bring this back?
Yeah, Mark Knutson and I were close friends, and after he passed, I never thought I'd start event directing, but the best way I feel we can keep his legacy going is with these local events and ultimately his nonprofit that he started back in 2010 with Shoes for Kids. So that's the goal here is after this 5-year hiatus where he and Mike Almquist had this event to 2,000 to 3,000 participants at one point, is to continue to grow this and what it was back then when they had it, and keep Mark's legacy going as best as we can.
No, that's a great way to remember his legacy and what he meant to not just the running community, but the whole community here. And we appreciate what he's done for us, and that gives us something to build on, right, and bring back. I like that.
Exactly.
Can you tell us a little
more? He
more?
brought a lot to this community.
Yeah, could you tell us more about his charity or his nonprofit?
Yeah, so Shoes for Kids was started in 2010, like I mentioned. We've since renamed it Mark Knutson Shoes for Kids Legacy Fund. So we're partnering with DMF as well as the team there to be able to bring it into that legacy fund element. So what we've done is Mark was very behind the scenes, grassroots, bringing these shoes to the school-aged, specifically elementary-aged kids to make sure they had a good pair of shoes throughout the school year. Not only in Fargo, but Moorhead and West Fargo as well. And so we've extended that here in recent years to the outlying districts of Central Cass, Northern Cass, Kindred, as well as Hillsborough, where Mark grew up, and then also Detroit Lakes, where he recently lived before he passed away. So we're continuing to grow that here locally in those school districts to just have that mindset of a healthy and moving body just brings kids joy, and just being active brings a lot to their physical and mental health. So that's the goal with Shoes for Kids.
So you want to give us an update on the routes this year? So you're at the Civic Center. That's where people check in and can start viewing. But where does it go from there?
Yep. Yeah, start finish is Civic Center, so indoor start finish, which is nice. But the weather does look great, so that shouldn't be a concern. Outside of hopefully this wind can die down a little bit this evening. But the route, we'll stay in North Fargo and North Moorhead for a little bit. So both that Oak Grove Park, like I mentioned, into, there's the natural playground there in Moorhead as you go through the Yamka Center area. And then that's tonight. And then tomorrow that'll use the same first few miles, but then heading through Dyke East as well as Lindenwood and Gooseberry over in Moorhead while coming back on the Fargo side, back to the Civic for the half marathon. So you get a lot of great scenery this time of year. It's awesome to be outside seeing the fall colors and the changing colors. So that's the goal, and had been the goal initially with with Fargo Mini is to enjoy the outdoors before, I won't say it, but I'll say it anyways, before winter and the snow hits. So thankfully we can enjoy some outdoors time and before that hits, and ultimately still enjoy it when it hits too. But that's what Mini Weekend's all about.
No, it's perfect. I think you timed the weather really nicely too. It's not going to be too cold and it's not going to be too hot for anybody. So it's great way to layer up and go out and spend some time outdoors.
Exactly.
And so we have Pat Crary later on the show talking about that same river trail on the mountain bike trail going on there too. And so there's a lot of activities on those trails. I guess for people that are using the trails this weekend too, are they still usable or do you close them down for a while or?
Yeah, they're still usable. There'll be signs out, so caution, race ahead type signs, but we don't close down the trails. Just for anyone out there, be aware that there will be a few hundred runners at any given time this evening and then tomorrow morning.
And so is the race, are they all sold out or can people still sign up?
Yeah, so it is. Talk about the growing pains, like I mentioned,
Yeah.
We are sold out just logistically, but blessing and a curse all at the same time. So we will be sure to be ready to make it bigger and better next year. So no walk-up registration, but anyone who is currently registered, that it starts at 3:00 this afternoon at the Civic Center for packet pickup.
So you have 900 people. Do you have a good sense of how many of those are in Fargo versus this drawing people in from the region or across country, those type of questions?
Yeah, I just looked at that, and I don't quote me on this, but I want to say, 2/3 are from the metro, but then we have a third coming from out of town. So yeah, it'll be a few hundred people from out of town joining us this weekend to hopefully not only enjoy a run, but all the things that are happening downtown too. So it's a busy weekend all around.
Well, no, we appreciate you choosing downtown and our amazing trail system there. I was talking on the start of the show about working with the Park District, try to get some better signage along that trail system because it's such an amazing trail system, but it lacks signage, on how far is it into Lindenwood.
And we're spoiled.
Yeah, right.
That's true. We're spoiled. We got great trails and we want to utilize them. So I think you're on the right path, Rocky, in getting the districts involved and getting some nice signage out there.
So do you have some sort of after party or what's the plan after people finish the race?
Yeah, Swing Barrel is here, so not necessarily a band playing, but we'll have music going. Nice. Served if anyone wants beer, or they'll have soda and water. Spending some time, especially tonight, there'll be the Halloween costume giveaways for the best dressed, so there'll be a little after party tonight, and then tomorrow, just stick around and cheer on everybody. There'll be people finishing in that 3 to 4 hour time frame as well. So all throughout the morning until that noon hour, we'll have some fun. And then again, like I said, we're all ears for future years and making this bigger and better. So based on your question, I already have an idea for next year.
Well, that's great. Yeah, Swing Barrel does a good job with that. They're a lot of fun. And I was just going to say that, people want to be cheered on too. That's fun part of the race environment. And I think with kids, bringing kids out to cheer people on is a great way to introduce them to it. Make it real for them, and then they kind of say, hey, how can I do that? I want to be part of that. And so it's a great thing for families to come out.
Yeah, exactly. That's how my son got involved. He's faster than us almost some days, but he loves handing out medals when he's not running. So it's always a fun family activity to not only cheer, but also be involved.
All right, so one thing I ask everybody on here, because it's a downtown show, you got to give a shout-out to something else going on downtown that you like personally that you're not connected to. Just give a shout-out to something else going on downtown.
This weekend, I probably won't be. I'll be cleaning up the course, but check out the market. That's awesome. I think it's the last weekend. Correct me if I'm wrong, Rocky.
I think we have one more weekend.
Last weekend of the market?
One more weekend
Okay,
after this.
So never mind. Anyways, one of the last weekends. So check out the market. We checked it out last weekend, so it's an awesome time. Just blocks away from the Civic Center. So hang out, spend some time downtown. That's my shout out to the other events.
No, I just so mention that now. So it does go to the 25th because we have an event there on the 25th. It's called the Wish Walk, where kids can come and trick or treat at the market and local stores. And so, yeah, one more.
We'll be sure to make it on the 25th then.
Perfect. Well, appreciate you doing this downtown, and we're excited for all the runners. Good luck to everybody. Hope everyone stays healthy and happy out there. Thanks for calling in.
Thank you, Rocky. I appreciate all you do.
When we come back, we're going to have Sally Loeffler with Beyond Running to talk about how to get involved and stay active the rest of the time. Welcome back to Rocky's Downtown Hour. We're talking all things recreation in downtown Fargo. Like the repeat my favorite stat, but the busiest outdoor path in the state of North Dakota is the sidewalk on Broadway. It's where people recreate, and one of our premier stores in downtown is Beyond Running. It's been there for, I'm going to say 18 years, and then I'll get corrected here, but we have Sally Loeffler on with us, one of the owners of Beyond Running. Sally, welcome.
Hello, thanks for having me.
Yeah. Get right up close there with our little microphone and tell us. So 18 years, am I right?
18
Close?
years, yep. We opened in 2007 downtown.
You learned anything in 18 years?
A couple of things, yeah.
That's a long time for any business to survive and adapt and stay,
Yeah,
with
it's
the
been really
trends.
fun to see, like, when we opened downtown was a totally different downtown than it is today, and it has been so fun to be part of and just to kind of have a front row seat to all the changes that have happened downtown.
What I love about your store is that it's there's a lot of stores that come and go, but in order to be a running store, you really have to get involved in the community, because if you're not seen as part of essential to that run race community, the exercise community, you get kind of lost in the shuffle. So how is Beyond Running staying relevant with working with different running groups and things like that?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, the more people that are out and active and running and doing all of those things help us stay in business. That's what we're here to do, is to support people who are kind of pursuing the endeavor of being more active, whether that's walking or running or whatever that looks like for each individual. But so certainly events and groups and things that are also engaged in those activities are great, because it supports our mission as well. And so it's really fun to watch all of the events and the different groups that have popped up around town, and just kind of support participation in those, because the more people that are out there hitting the streets and doing those things, the more fun it is for us to develop that community.
I've always liked the name Beyond Running too, because it's clever, because you obviously sell more than just running supplies there, but it also lets people know that you don't have to be intimidated to go into the store. It's not just like, hey, you got to be really fit and be a marathoner to come in here. It's not that type of store at all. It's
no, and that was our
all types.
Primary goal when we opened, was to really be. I had been a runner for many years prior to opening Beyond Running, and frankly, going into specialty run stores was intimidating for me. And I had run marathons, and it's kind of a scary encounter. And so our goal was really to be just totally non-intimidating. And I think we've accomplished that over the years. Is we really. It doesn't kind of matter where you're at on your fitness journey, or even just wanting to get off the couch, or even just like get in a good pair of shoes that you can wear at work so that your feet don't hurt at the end of the day. I mean, we just really welcome all of those customers. And we're also equipped to help people who are really focused on, really experienced runners who are focused on meeting certain goals. But we span the gamut, and we're just so excited to talk to kind of anybody who's willing to talk to us about that journey.
So events like the mini marathon, obviously that's in downtown Fargo too. So there's this great partnership of bringing, these races to downtown, or the marathon itself in the summer goes through downtown. You guys are sort of front and center to all that. How do you see those type of events? Yeah,
we're so excited that the mini marathon is back, and that any event that takes place downtown, we're super excited about. It's fun. We see you see the vibrancy. Downtown kind of lights up, and everybody is they're participating. It just kind of has a different energy to it when you get these events downtown. And then it's fun to see, people before the race, when the race is announced, we get people coming in, I've got this goal, I'm going to do this. And we get to kind of see this unique perspective where we get to see people along the journey. Like, maybe this is their moment where now they found something to motivate them. I'm going to do a 5K, or I'm going to run the half marathon. It's my first one ever. So we get to see all of that journey on the back end too, where these events get announced. So it's not just the day that we get the fun of like all the people that are participating. We get to see their whole journey as they train through it. Because side note, you shouldn't probably just do a half marathon without any training. Not recommended.
No, not everyone's Forrest Gump and just goes out there. But yeah, I think my first 5K that I started and finished without doing a little walking, which is fine, but was downtown. It was one of those, I don't remember what it's called. It was like Illuminate or something like that.
I remember
It was
that
like
run.
the glow one 15 years ago or something like that. But yeah, that was a lot of fun, and it was along the river, but it was such like a good environment where you didn't want to stop, but you also didn't realize it so much either. There's so much to look at and be entertained by, and those sort of things where it keeps you going, keeps you distracted.
Running in a group, running in a race, running where there's a lot of fun things to look at. It's always good to distract yourself a little bit.
And, there's cool trails all over town. I mean, they do a nice job with paths everywhere, but the river trails through downtown Fargo, I mean, maybe it's our only geographic feature that we have in Fargo, right? And so leaning into that and really celebrating the river trails. And I love events like this because James was on earlier and he said, 900 people, which seems like a lot to me. But a third of them aren't from here. And so getting them to introduce not just to our downtown and all the unique stores and restaurants and things, but also our river trails just highlights what people don't always realize about Fargo.
Yeah, that's so true. We get so many people that come into the store and they may be looking for like, where do I go to run and how do I, where would you recommend? We always send them to the river trails because it is unexpected. I think that people don't think we have trees or water or whatever here. And so it's always an unexpected thing. And people are always really impressed with that trail system because it's literally just blocks from downtown. You jump in and you're kind of in a different world.
Yeah, it's very approachable, easy. I think we could always spruce it up. I want more signage. I love signage. So more trailheads and maps and things like that. A couple of lights under bridges and things that we've worked on lighting up a little bit more. But Parks does a good job keeping them clean, free of debris and such. And so I think it's great to see all types walking on those trails, walking, running, biking.
Yes.
Skateboarding.
Anything.
Yeah. And so, you can do a little bit of everything. So hopefully those 900 people that are coming down, if they want to get that last minute gear or nutrients, what's your go-to of fuel for your?
Gosh, we have a huge, what I call kind of fueling section. And if you're a runner, that there's, certain things that work for you that maybe don't work for other people. You have your favorites, and we try to have a wide variety. So we've got all the brands of all the different kind of gels and goos and fuels that you can use on the run during and after to kind of refuel.
My wife and daughter and I, we joke because my daughter always gets nerd clusters. That's like her favorite thing. And there's some Instagrammer that, like a running Instagrammer that my wife follows that eats nerds.
Oh, yeah.
And like, that's like her thing. She's like, well, that works, I guess.
Just a pure sugar
Just
jolt.
pure sugar. But I do have to do a shout out to one of your neighbors because Spaghetti Western on your corner of your block, if anyone wants to sort of pasta load tonight, it's a great location.
It's a good thing that it's dangerous that we're next door to them because they're so good. So it's a good thing I run so I can go there and pasta and carb load.
Carb load. Yeah, it's delicious. It's fun to have a little north side restaurant like that right on the corner there of 6th Avenue. Yeah, 6th Avenue. And so what's your address? Where is Beyond Running located?
516 Broadway. So,
516 Broadway. What else is new going on at Beyond Running?
What else is new going on? We have some exciting things coming up in 2026, so stay tuned for that. But right now, we are in the process of, kind of turning over our merchandise into a lot of fall and winter stuff. So Beyond Running also has a kind of our outdoor side as well. So we're getting in all the cozy sweaters and Patagonia stuff and all your winter jackets. And so all that stuff is starting to appear in the store now as we get, tastes of some of the cooler weather and then peppered with other warm weather. Like last night it was cold and then it was hot and then it was cold but hot, but we're getting prepared for the actual cold weather. So
so transitioning to fall, and also you guys have a great, I don't want to call it like a gift, souvenir side of thing, but you have Fargo products in there that kind of unique things for Fargo, which you don't see everywhere.
Yeah, we like to curate a collection of stuff if you're kind of visiting or even if you just want to rep Fargo because you love Fargo like we do. We've got T-shirts and mugs and hats and all that fun stuff
and
too.
all the National Park collection.
Yep.
Which I like my Smokey the Bear stuff. And so, there you got a whole National Park selection. You have a big dog selection too for people walking their dogs.
Yes, and we are dog friendly as long as your dog is friendly. You can come in and fit them we carry little winter boots and we're a big fan of rough wear gear. So we have all of their gear in stock. So people will bring their dogs in and let them go shopping as well.
Yeah. So are you taking part in the mini marathon in any way?
Yes. So we are setting up, we'll have a little booth at the Packet Pickup /Expo at the Civic Center this afternoon. So there'll be some exclusive deals that you can only get at the expo. So you should stop by if you're picking up your packet and check out kind of some of the deals. Maybe there's some, I think it's going to be a little chilly in the morning. So if there's some kind of last minute, long sleeve shirt you want to pick up or something, we'll have some of that stuff. And so, yeah.
That's awesome. And just to reiterate, people should come out and watch. You don't have to be in the race. The racers love it when having people celebrate them and cheer them on. And sometimes that's the distraction you need.
For sure. And I would say, like, as a runner, one of the best kind of races are the ones where there are people watching and cheering. You know, it's really easy to be like, to slow down or to even stop or to walk. But when you've got some eyes on you, it's always good motivation to keep going. Just was telling a customer who came in, he was, he's going to spectate and his wife is running. And I said, that's awesome too, because it's super fun to be out there. And you kind of, even as a spectator, you feed off the energy of the people that are running.
So the debate on what to do about headphones, no headphones, or what do you listen to? Because my daughter just had to run the mile in middle school. That's like the big day, right, for that. And they don't play music, and so like you can't wear headphones or anything. So and she's like, oh, I can't listen to music while I do this. But what's your go-to?
Gosh,
nature.
If I'm running solo, I do like to listen to music, but I would say, like, we just had a run group at the store last night, and when you run with people and you just kind of get caught up in conversation, it's just a great way to pass the time. So while, you know, sometimes long runs, I'll listen to music, have my headphones in. I so enjoy, like, just the community aspect of when you have a running partner and you're, you know, able to, you know, between gasps, get in some good conversation. That's always a fun way to pass the time.
So I'm a fan of audiobooks because it has no beginning and end, where when I listen to songs, you start to remember, like, oh, this song's 2 minutes and 40 seconds, you know, and you start like flipping out on the math. But okay, so if you want to meet other runners, do you guys do anything as far as running groups?
Yeah, so there's the cool thing about Fargo Moorhead is there's a robust group of kind of different running clubs that you can fit in that works for you. We do host group runs. We have for 18 years at our store downtown, Tuesdays and Thursdays at 6:30 p.m. But there's lots of other run clubs in town as well. There's some bigger groups that meet both on Tuesdays and Thursdays again. There's other groups that we actually host in store. So yeah, I mean, there's all kinds of opportunities. So it's not just like one time a day. There's definitely groups that meet kind of in the morning and the evening. But you stop in the store and we can kind of point you in the right direction of what might work for you.
Well, I just had one listener text in that said their favorite running gear is the Beyond Run It branded running shirts.
Oh.
And so there we go.
Thank you. Yeah.
Okay, so last really quick, give a shout out to something else cool going on downtown that you like, and you can't mention the market because it's already been mentioned.
Oh man, I do love the market. There's so much cool stuff going downtown, and I love downtown in the fall too. It's just kind of the crisper air and stuff. We are super excited. We're watching the Avery project go up on NP Avenue. I walk by there frequently. That it may sound lame, but I'm excited for that parking ramp to open. Yep. We're just super excited about the FMCT and it's just really funny. If you're downtown every day, you get to see, like we saw this with the Jasper, where it was just like one day you were like, oh, is this ever going to be done? And then it was done, and it was beautiful, and it's kind of forget that it was ever not there. And that's kind of, we're super excited about that project on it.
Yeah, to go from a parking lot for the last 50 years to a community theater is going to be amazing.
Yeah.
Okay, well, Sally, thanks for coming on. And when we come back, we're going to have Patrick Crary, who's building a new mountain bike trail in downtown along the river. Welcome back. This is Rocky Schneider, and we are talking about recreating in downtown Fargo and the cool things going on and all around in our parks and our trails. And we have Patrick Crary on with us now. Patrick is on site, and he's building a new mountain bike trail called the All-American Trail North. And this is going to be a really awesome kind of entry-level mountain bike course for families, kids, people being interested in the sport. And this goes from Dykes Park, which is right at downtown by the high-rise there, and goes to Pontus Park, which is almost to Lindenwood, if you're familiar with that. Patrick, thanks for coming on the show.
Hey, Rocky. Thank you for having me.
Tell us a little bit. How'd you get involved in this effort?
Well, it's been kind of a surprise. I got a call from Greg Tavine, and I was asked if I wanted to build a bike trail. And I've built plenty of those in the area, in the region. And I was pretty shocked at first. And then once we got talking, I'm 100% involved. And it just kind of, here we are, you know. This town is ready for it. There's bike trails all over the place. We have people riding paved trails, road, gravel, in the dirt. I prefer in the dirt, in the trees. And my name was thrown in a hat, I think, and they just said this is a guy that might be interested, and here we are. So I'm delighted. It's been a couple, 3 or 4 weeks now of work, and we're in the process of paving, well, clearing the dirt down, soil conditioning. So you might hear the machinery in the background, but
No, I love it
it's
that you're on
coming
site.
along.
Let's give a little credit
Yeah.
to Greg Tavine. So Greg Tavine and I hosted a recreation and quality of life summit 2 years ago and brought in people to talk about trails and these cool like off-road things, inspired by, Breckenridge and Bentonville and all these other places doing neat kind of trails and getting people outdoors. And so it's fun to see something like this come to life. Greg really advocated this with the park district, got funding, and now it's a reality. So what's the timeline that you're working on to have this trail that somebody could go on?
Well, we're, under the gun for weather, as you know. My short and sweet answer is not sure, but we're trying to tentatively have it sometime, maybe Halloween. My goal is for sure Thanksgiving. But the snow might come in and we can still kind of get around some of that. There's a lot of things that happen besides the actual building part, that can happen when it's raining or inclement weather. But for now, we're on schedule, actually pretty good timeline right now. I would think in the next couple weeks that we'll be able to ride it, maybe sooner than that, but not the official opening hasn't really been announced yet.
So I think people are familiar with the paved trails on the river and around town. And then there's also, FM Trailblazers puts on some other trails that are a little higher technical. How does this trail differ from what's already out there?
Right. This one's geared towards entry-level cyclists, specifically mountain biking, and kids. Even a kid who has a Strider bike, who's able to cruise around the neighborhood and go on the sidewalk and down the driveway. This kind of trail will get them in the woods, get them confident, build their skills up, hopefully so they can evolve to those other trails that we have in town. And also for people walking and joggers, just to get them into the trees and off the paved trail that we have. We have lots of paved trails in town, and if you use them, you'll see how busy they can be. And this will just be another option.
Yeah, I think you said the key word there is confidence. I know growing up, biking was just that, entry to the rest of the world, right? And so if you're a kid going biking and all of a sudden you can go off-road just a little bit, it's a little bit scary, a little bit intimidating, but it's manageable. And then you never know where you're going to go from that, on a bike or off a bike, but you build that sense of fear and overcoming it.
Yeah, even riding through the trees, even if it's 6 feet wide, you're scared. I mean, it's like, holy cow, there's something there right there. It's not moving, but it doesn't care if you hit it. So that's we have the harder trails around town, and if you travel elsewhere, they have we have all kinds of options. Cuyuna, Detroit Lakes, Maple Log Resort. There's places you go that the trails are definitely harder. So this will be geared towards your first ride. If you have a young kid, your grandkids, take them here. Hopefully that's an enjoyable experience for them and for somebody who's skilled.
Well, we sure appreciate you doing this. I want to let people know that, this is funded by private donations too. And so there's a link on FM Area Foundation, or you can write to me at Rocky at Downtown Fargo too if you're looking for downtownfargo.com if you're looking for a link. We can provide that too. But they're raising money for this trail, and hopefully we get a great turnout that we can do more of this, get Patrick working every summer to build a new trail. This would be great.
Well, I really want to thank them all. I don't even dare name them, but there's a lot of support, and I'm super, super excited about that. This town is 100% ready for it. This is going to hopefully be a step in the right direction. We've got the system built already with other trails. So, the land is all, we only have this green space along the river for the most part. So let's use it if everybody can share it, and we just add our fun spots and get into nature. So
I love that. So we got about 30 seconds left here. So just to recap, there's a new trail going, a mountain bike trail, thanks to Greg Tavine and Patrick Crary, who's doing the work down there right now. It should be done here in the next month. And it's going to be from Dike East, which is right at downtown at the dike there, down to Pontus Park, which is almost to Lindenwood, down by the water treatment plant. So bring your bring your family down there and go off-roading a little bit. Just go explore it, and hopefully it's the first of a lot more to come.
Yep, it'll lead you to the Lindenwood Bridge, actually, too.
Oh, perfect. That's a great way to do it.
Yep.
Well, Patrick, thank you for all your work out there. Enjoy looks like the sun's shining on you, so that's somebody's telling you to get back to work, I think, and I'll take that for away. So you got a busy weekend ahead of you. For everyone else, enjoy the marathon. Stay healthy out there. Go cheer runners on and spread joy out there, everybody. See you next week.